Oh, hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. And welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for over a year and 2 months and counting, because that's right, the daily stream streak remains strong. I am here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 2 to 3 hours, depending on varying factors, for today's office hours. But before we get into today's stream subject, followed by general Q&A, let's start with a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, attracted to 682. Congratulations on being the most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Alongside you, Rune, Legendary Doge, CD23, Puppet Boy, Dean Cass, Blue Phantom, Creepypasta George Harrison, Rune, Dr. Frogman, Pixel Paradin, Senior Researcher Alex, Froy, Dax Rays. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here as members of Site 42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Dacha, good to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Very nice to see you here. And then interns, Steven, 100 stars, 953, Nikki Knackle, Nolan, Malachi, Raul, Hotel California, Haiti, Rar Caution, Kanavix, Bread, Light Steve, Carlton McCullough, Green Goji, Musical Sand, Hi. All of you, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here just for being you. Now, a reminder that today's stream is sponsored, of course, by the ongoing Kickstarter for SCP Containment Breach, the movie. If we want an SCP Foundation movie in theaters, these guys got a good shot, but only if we get them funded. We have 5 days remaining, so share it everywhere. The number is creeping up, but we need more than creeping right now. So the more you share, and the more that you donate, the more likely we can have an SCP movie in theaters. This is our best shot to date, so let's not throw it away. Speaking of our SCP Containment Breach movie, no, I'm not speaking of that because I need to take a small break in my subject to talk to puppy of interest 42, codenamed Charlie, who you might have heard whining because she heard the stream humming. And is that what she thinks she's doing? She thinks she's humming a song? And so here's the baby. She is here to say hello to you all, because of course you are the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. You give puppy of interest 42, codenamed Charlie, her most dire wish, which is your attention. Her second most dire wish, of course, being delightful treats. The sweetest pumpkin at Site 42 is here for you to enjoy. And of course, you are currently being enjoyed by puppy of interest 42 as well. It is a mutual enjoyment, the best kind of enjoyment. Okay, are you satisfied with your attention, sweetie pumpkin? Can I get to work? We have a briefing to get to. We are a professional organization. Very good. Now, for today's stream subject in relation to the ongoing Containment Breach the Movie Kickstarter. Some of you may have been present yesterday when I made a point of yesterday to create a segment where I would call out SCP Containment Breach aficionado and YouTube turned Hollywood filmmaker Markiplier. Because Markiplier made a small oopsie doopsie when it comes to the request coming from the Containment Breach the Movie team. They made a video called An Open Letter to Markiplier, and with an SCP Markiplier in the thumbnail, Markiplier instantly assumed, oh, these people want me to make an SCP movie? After I've just got done making Iron Lung? That's too much! I'm exhausted! No, you entitled brats! I'm not gonna make a movie for you! I'm taking a break from movies! Which, you know, would be fair as a reaction if that's what the video was about. But that wasn't what the video was about. No. Keter Labs of SCP Containment Breach Movie were merely saying, hey, Mark, we're making a movie. And now we want you to be in the movie. So if he had watched the video, he would know that, but he didn't watch the video. He's a busy guy. He's exhausted. And you know how people make snap decisions when they're tired and hungry. If you need one, grab a Snickers from the commissary. So yesterday, I made a video explaining this to say, hey, Markiplier, this is what they meant. It was a misunderstanding. Sorry about it. But you can still be in the movie if you want. But I unfortunately forgot that the wrath and vengeance of Agent MARKIPLIER'S is swift and terrible. I did not make it to the hair dyeing salon this morning. This is not professionally done. I was ambushed in my quarters, my personal quarters at Site 42, where Markiplier Superman punched me so hard, he Wilford mother-loving warfrashed me. Normally, I would be up to a challenge of a scrap of this caliber. I take great pains in the Foundation Fitness Initiative. I am a mighty combatant for a researcher, obviously. But, you know, a researcher versus a YouTube, I didn't think this was the end of the world. But then there's also that I'm running on a handicap right now, a still recovering right ankle, which is in rehab, and of course, Brian, the parasitic centipede that lives in my left shoulder that is causing me all sorts of pain. So with a complete imbalance from a right ankle and left shoulder injury, obviously, I was no match for a Markiplier Superman punch ambush. That is definitely what happened, and there is no other explanation for my current hair color. And so, I now stand before you, a wounded site director, and I am accepting your sympathy at this time. Yes, the hair color is still flames. This does in fact look good as hell. Shockingly good, actually. And yes, for those of you who realize that there was a pink hair reward in the 2,500 channel member goal, well, we did it early. Oops. So now, we are here. The stream subject is complete. Go donate to SCP Containment Breach the movie if you haven't yet. Share it around. Let's make some movie happens. Does that mean the Cat Made Waifu stream is at 2,500 now? No, Dr. Frogman, because we still have to hit that specific 5,000 goal for the emotes that Junior Researcher Sally is working on. So, that is still got to stay where it is. It's not being shifted down. This isn't Tetris. I'm now going to catch up to the donations that have come in during the intro, at which point we will return to our standard broadcast, which will include an article from This Is My Jam Con, as well as Pride Month features and the etc. Intern Diaz, thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will keep it 100 at your urging. 953, thank you for sending a GG to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will have a good game at your urging. Hi, Doc. Today's my birthday. Well, Building Block, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Also, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Get yourself a slice of birthday cake on your way past the commissary. Rebel Commander, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some fruit salad. Yummy, yummy, on your way past the commissary. So IRL Markiplier didn't respond yet. Not to my knowledge. I have not seen any comments or a video made. I would imagine it has to sit out in the ether, in the void for a little bit before it is seen. Trust me, you will know if I've gotten a response. All right, Site 42 staff, do remember that currently it is SCP Pride Fest 2026. Happy Pride to all SCP Foundation staff. And today's Pride Month feature is SCP-8489 by SCP author Rhine River. It is codenamed 2 Left Feet on the Mezzanine, and oof, it is a little bit horror, a little bit mystery, a little bit trauma, parental trauma for gay youths. In fact, I do think that even heterosexual people could also feel a little bit of this parental abuse vibe in SCP-8489. So, be careful going into SCP-8489, but it is in fact a good story. Happy Pride to all those in the chat who celebrate. Dean Cass, thank you for gifting 5 memberships to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. Chat, if you got one of those memberships from Dean Cass, make sure to thank Dean Cass for their generosity. Lol, Dacia got a membership. Well, membership volunteers are passed around based on how much you interact with channel, and Dacia is around every so often, so I'm not shocked that Dacia is at the top of the list for receiving a gifted. I think this is actually the second time that Dacia has received a gifted membership, actually. Huh. Okay, so now we've talked about our Pride Month feature. Now we move on to This Is My Jam Con. For those who have not been present, a reminder, This Is My Jam Con was an unofficial SCP community contest that was run about a month or two ago, in which the SCP authors participating gave song recommendations, which were traded among them, and then the SCP authors wrote SCPs based on those songs. So we've been reading through the contest entries. We have read 22 of the 27 entries. We have 5 to go. There is a side quest here for trying to guess the song that the article is based on. I'm a bit of a music guy. My dance teacher side knows a lot of songs. My karaoke maven knows a lot of songs. So that being said, 90% of the songs listed here are songs I had never heard of and had no chance of guessing, unfortunately. So I'm currently 3 for 22, which is actually pretty impressive. But today, we're moving on to SCP-9312, codename Children of the Moon. This is not a terribly long article, so I will probably read it in 3 sections. Maybe 2 sections, depending on how this is laid out. We will see. But before I start the reading of today's article, let me return to the chat because I saw Dacha. Thank you for your generosity in gifting 5 memberships to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. If you receive one of Dacha's gifts, make sure to thank Dacha for their generosity. On top of which, Dean Cass, thank you for your first super chat of today's stream, as well as the gifted donations, as well as being a member yourself. Grab yourself some chicken nugs on your way past the commissary. Spreading love and joy to others. That is the way, whether it's by donations, whether it's by art creation. If you are improving the lives of the people around you, you are doing the Lord's work. The Lord, of course, being whatever swan entity on the higher pataphysical narrative level that is puppeting our lives. Now, moving into SCP-9312, codenamed Children of the Moon. Before it begins, let me show you the images. We have Kepler's Trigon. We have the Thomas Street asset. We have Reverend Jackson in his role as a priest of the Catholic Church. And we have some sort of predictive model of the 9th Great Conjunction following the extension of life expectancy to 180 years. So apparently people are going to get older. We will have to see. Oh, this will happen within the next 5 months. Curiouser and curiouser. So that is our images so that you have those on hand. We will read the article and see what we've got in hand, on hand. One last thing before I begin the reading, because I want to make sure it's answered. Experiment's gone wrong. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some lightly fried fish fillets on your way past the commissary. Will Markiplier be featured in the SCP crowdfunded movie? Also, there's a hole shining in the holes between your eyelids. Well, first of all, Markiplier will be in the SCP movie if he wants to be. Obviously, it's an invitation which he may turn down, but he has an open invite to be in the SCP movie, and he accidentally turned it down because he thought someone was asking him to make a movie, not to be in a movie. I made a video yesterday trying to tell him that no, they want you to be in the movie, not make the movie. Rethink the invitation. You can still say no, but just say no to the right thing. We'll see if we get an answer on that. Also, as for the hole shining in the holes between your eyelids, I plead the fifth. It's the SCP guy. Yes, and turn GNR. It is, in fact, the SCP guy. In fact, I'm about to begin reading an SCP document right now. Item number, SCP-9312. Object class, Pythagoras. Special containment procedures. Now, these first couple sentences are struck through, which means they have been changed. So let's see what we got going on here. Item 1, instances are to undergo the temporary infusion of a mercurial gold amalgam to purify the body of SCP-9312's influence. Okay, we're doing alchemy or something? Footnote. See alchemical document 1 for precise laboratory technique. Medical records dating back to 1940 are to be cross-referenced with dates during which the Great Conjunctions were occurring. Footnote. a colloquial term for the conjunction of the planets Jupiter and Saturn when the two planets appear closest together in the sky. Individuals born during these dates are given the item 1 designation or to be coerced into undergoing the purifying procedure. Now we move on to what the current containment procedures are. The SCP-9312 Omen does not concern the Special Collections Program, as its in-concrete existence can be disregarded due to the rarity of Item 1 and skepticism towards fortune-telling as a profession. Description: SCP-9312 phenomenon refers to an oddity recorded by the fortune-telling and occult community several times since the 1990s. For the majority of its recorded existence, it was dismissed as a negative visualization or imitation of notable prophecies. With the advent of the internet and the easier access to communication that came from it, SCP-9312's existence would shift from an occasional mention to a source of debate for occultists and mediums in online forums. SCP-9312 is a phenomenon that occurs when an unborn baby exists during the occurrence of a great conjunction. Whether SCP-9312 has arisen from the importance of the satellites to occult rituals and practices throughout history, or if instead occult rituals have created SCP-9312, is as of yet unknown. SCP-9312 instance currently manifests as an omen attached to Item 1 instances. The SCP-9312 omen refers to a scenario in which Item 1 instances come to make a... Oh, you saw nothing. The SCP-9312 omen refers to a scenario in which Item 1 instances come to make up an as-yet unknown portion of the population. Should this threshold be reached, the end of the world is predicted to occur or has already occurred. Information regarding SCP-9312 has been pieced together through the efforts of spiritual leaders, oracles, and seers. When an Item 1 instance receives a prediction or prophecy from these individuals, the reader will become aware of the existence of SCP-9312 as an existential threat emanating through the afflicted individual's psyche or spirit. All right, so that is segment 1 of this article. So we have a phenomenon regarding revolving around the Great Conjunction. There may be an end of the world involved. We do not know for certain. And people and instances of Item 1 receive a prediction or prophecy from the individuals. They will become aware of the existence of SCP-9312 as an existential threat emanating through the afflicted individual's psyche or spirit. Interesting work. Let's return to the chat for a moment. Intern Ithaca, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some bacon-wrapped hot dogs on your way past the commissary. Hi, Doc. Just want to say, Ion says trans rights. Happy Pride. Well, barring the many problems I have with Ion and the rest of their ilk, at least they're not pride-phobic and transphobic. That's very nice for them. Captain Gilbert, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a sweet crepe on your way past the commissary. Damn it, Dr. Sherman, I take my company vacation leave for less than a week, and what's happening now? What's going on with Markiplier? There isn't more drama? Well, if getting your ass beat is drama, then yes, I'm the drama. Chat refresh, please. There we go. Intern Sarah, thank you for sending a happy pride to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they feel the love. Dean Cass, thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will keep it 100 because you asked them to. What's up with the title? Thank you for your hair stuff. Yes, the stream subject, you can go back to the beginning of the stream, but the short summary is I made a video message to Markiplier on this platform. In revenge, he raided Site 42, attacked me in my quarters this morning, beat my ass, and dyed my hair pink. I was Wilford, mother-loving Warstash this morning. It was not pleasant. Intern Ithaca, thank you for donating again to say. We Nulkins believe you should be your truest self after all, and HRT is quite easy when you can internally synthesize hormones on command. Well, yes, I guess that is very nice for you flesh abominations. How does the Foundation get employees? Well, intern hacker, that depends on the employees. We recruit from all sorts of professional organizations. Typically, there are interviews, and if you don't accept the interview, you're amnesticized. That way you don't reveal our secrets. But if there is someone who is an expert in something, we can probably use them. Yesterday's SCP reading had a theater major who worked for the Foundation, so it takes all kinds. Wondertainment employee Reynolds, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are now a 1-star team on their way to a 5-star ranking, but they got to work hard. Intern Gavin, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Where's the lab coat? Intern Stormy, this is a lab coat. It just so happens to be tie-dyed for festive purposes. Intern Reynolds and Snell, thank you for sending 2 more stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, which makes them a 3-star team. Well on their way to a 5-star ranking. Oh, and there's Rosemary making you guys a 5-star team. Thank you for sending them 2 stars to make them a 5-star team. Congratulations, you're the highest possible rank. Let's see what you do to get demoted before the end of stream. And Wondertainment employee Reynolds made you guys a 1-star team. Oopsie daisy, tumbling back down. But I have faith in your ability to scrape your way back up again. Captain Gilbert, thank you for donating again to say. Did we ever do the paperwork to require Clef and Wilfred Warstash should be separate? And yeah, reality warpers are not fun, especially him, pataphysics. Listen, the Markiplier department of the Foundation is vast and terrifying. I don't mess with them. They're handling it to the best ability, not that it always works, as you can see this morning, but trust, it would be much worse if they weren't on the job. Intern Snell and Rosemary, thank you for sending 4 more stars together to make the team 5 stars again. Look at how fast you ascended. Good work. Why haven't we contained Markiplier yet? Intern Sam, are you volunteering? Do you got an idea? We lost an entire universe to the Markiplier horde just earlier this year. Intern Reynolds, thank you for sending another star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You just bumped them back down to 1 star again. Very funny. Warstash and Clef are old poker buddies. Clef won't do shit. That sounds about right. Rosemary, thank you for sending sparkles to the containment hazard assessment team. I'm sure they will enjoy the glitter sparkle. And intern Snell, thank you for sending 2 more stars to bring them to a 3-star team. You're halfway back up to your 5-star team again. All right, let me return to the SCP reading currently in process. Let's get through the next section. We are in the discovery of SCP-9312. The spike in mentions of SCP-9312 in online spaces would be substantial enough to warrant program intervention. The Department of Publicity, in conjunction with the Thomas Street asset, would temporarily utilize established personas within the occultism community to ensure that SCP-9312 is dismissed as the result of a mild case of mass hysteria following the events of early 2000. These efforts would succeed in quelling questions regarding SCP-9312 long enough for program operatives to investigate the phenomenon further. Among those within the discussion, which primarily consisted of practitioners of the relevant practices, there were several instances of Item 1. Program assets would later pull the biographical information of these individuals. As this occurred, the program began to take steps towards understanding the phenomenon by replicating the practices that led to its notation and more advanced occult rituals. Reverend Nicholas Nico Jackson, astrologist Ira McCarthy, and occultist Theodore Montague would be placed in charge of determining the source of SCP-9312 through their specializations. A series of discussions would follow in the coming weeks, leading to the documentation of SCP-9312. The following is an abridged sequence of events from meeting transcriptions and emails. Event 1. Occultist Montague would engage in a tarot reading with one of the individuals who claimed to be an Item 1 instance under the guise of dismissing their fear of SCP-9312. Montague would detect the SCP-9312 phenomenon through his psyche and the results of the reading itself. Footnote. Number 0, number 16, number 18. Note the appearance of 3 major arcana. While it could be argued that this lessens the significance of SCP-9312, as more prevalence would be placed on the individual's current state rather than any predictions of the future. Montague instead suggested this appearance as a result of his own aptitude in the occult. Each card appears to symbolize the direction of his reasoning, as well be addressed in the following bullet point. Next bullet point. Montague would give several readings, finding that number 18, the moon, would be dealt 4 more often than other cards. He would elaborate that in addition to being a source of the omen's energy, it could also give direction towards the source of SCP-9312. The next bullet point. Astrologist McCarthy would begin to investigate an astrological cause following Montague's initial findings. Her initial investigation, which revolved around a correspondence between the moon cycle and the history of the Item 1 instance, would be discarded soon after. It is to be noted that the approach in question was born of the appearance of the Fool within Montague's initial reading. Next bullet point. Reverend Jackson would state the occult practices are against the teachings of the church, and as such, since his omen was revealed to occultists, it was not likely of religious origin. During the discussion on the topic, he would reprise Martin Luther's argument on the twins Esau and Jacob. Footnote, Table Talk 292, which goes to a church page regaling that argument. There we go. Next bullet point. The investigation of the Department of Publicity ceases, as the biographical data of all recorded Item 1 instances would be compiled for use in determining the source of 9312. Next bullet point. Astrologist McCarthy, who is aware of this fault within astrology, checks the compiled DOP documents for shared birthdays. She finds the majority of Item 1 instances, including the initial instance interviewed by occultist Montague, were born in 1981. Next bullet point. Astrologist McCarthy establishes the link between the majority of recorded Item 1 instances being born in 1981 and the triplicate conjunction that appeared that year. She would then ask occultist Montague to repeat the ritual he had undertaken with the Item 1 instance with one of those not born in 1981. Next bullet point. Occultist Montague is unable to repeat the results previously shown with what is then established not to be an Item 1 instance. Next bullet point. Reverend Jackson suggests the year 1981 may be the source of the omen rather than the occurrence of the Great Conjunction. Next bullet point. Occultist Montague disagrees, citing his own skill as a seer and the drawing of number 18. Footnote. While this could be seen as partially disregarding the symbolic nature of the card and its implications, it would later be agreed upon this literal interpretation of the card was correct. Next bullet point. Reverend Jackson acknowledges that Montague is skilled, but requests that the findings be confirmed. The following day, he requests that Montague give readings to 2 individuals born in 1961, one before the Great Conjunction and one after. Next bullet point, astrologist McCarthy supports. Next bullet point, 2 individuals under the program employer selected due to the convenience of their birth dates. The individual born in June of 1961 is found to be an item 1 instance. So it's not just 1981, it is also a 1961 person. That brings us to the next section, which brings me to returning to chat for a little bit. So let's return to the chat and see what's going down. Am I yelling timber? Had you better move? Had you better dance? Yes, the answer is yes to that last one. In researcher QWPL7643, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a milked shake on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, what is your opinion on the zooliminology project team / far planes, if it isn't taboo to ask? Well, I don't have thoughts on it because I'm not familiar with it, but I can... Desk has shared me a link so I can see what's happening with it. The zooliminology project has a very interesting premise. It explores the extraplanar creatures from a realm outside of our universe known as the far plane. The far plane is basically the back rooms, but you won't die. It's very cool, and I highly recommend you check it out on your own. All right, so there's just people looking at weird animals in outer planes. I don't like anyone researching things that we can't control their research, so I would very much like anyone involved with this project to be captured, interrogated, log their knowledge for future reference, and then amnesticize them, unless they prove a valuable enough asset to hire onto Foundation staff to continue to overlook the project. Intern Brody, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Okay. Intern Snell, thank you for sending another star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, making them a 4-star team. 1 away from a 5-star team. Dean Cass, thank you for sending 5 floating hearts to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they feel the love. In one video, they mention SCP Foundation is told not to let anyone related to the facility into the far planes, not even joking lol. Well, of course, they know that we would stop their research and usurp it for our own because they are definitely not responsible enough to be dealing with anomalies. That's our jurisdiction, thank you. Intern Ithaca, thank you for donating again to say, what's your opinion on the bird librarian things? Once again, you've asked my opinion on something I know nothing about. What do you mean, bird librarian things? Was Montauk in that article the same Montauk I'm thinking of? Captain Gilbert, if you're talking about the article I'm currently reading, That is a Montague, not Montauk. Completely different name. So did Marky Moo respond? I missed the early parts of stream. Researcher Transmographist. No, Markiplier did not respond with a video. Markiplier respond by showing up to Site 42 this morning, beating my ass, and dyeing my hair pink. If I didn't have an injured ankle and a parasitic worm in my shoulder, perhaps I could have taken him. But instead, I had been Wilford, mother-loving wharf-stashed. You have a what? Obviously, you guys have missed the saga of this week with the parasitic centipede that lives in my shoulder right now, called Brian. It has a psychic link to my brain, in which it's currently playing smooth jazz WSJT 94.1 in my ears. It's very frustrating hearing random radio tag jingles all day. But that's just what Brian's into today. Well, at least it's not trying to kill you. As far as we know, intern Evergreen. You never know with parasitic centipedes. Why haven't you used the Lovecraftian locket? Captain Gilbert, I have seen the documentation on that object. Yes, it does healing, but it also has a lot of side effects. I want to save it for most dire needs. I'm not going to waste it. And anyways, remember, we can't kill the anomaly because then we can't study it. So I'm stuck here hosting this guest until medical finally clears me to have it removed. Internethica, thank you for donating again to say. Parasitic worm, oh, that's where he went. He's one of mine. He seems cozy, though. I'll leave him with you. If this is your fault, oh, we're going to have words. Intern Raul, I don't know Glen Eroy. I don't know their SCP songs. I'm unfamiliar. That's not a thing I am familiar with. I see they have a lot. I'll have to look into this later. Oh dear. I'm sorry to hear that Glenn has cancer. That's not cool. Sorry, musician Glenn, for your lymphoma. Shit. I hope you do better. Legendary Doge, it is a centipede. Yes. That's how we know it can hold protest signs. All right, let's take it back to SCP-9312. Let's see if they can figure out what the hell's happening with these people in the random years and the random great conjunctions. The initial draft of SCP-9312 is created detailing the anomalous effect that SCP-9312 has on efforts of prediction. Footnote, see archival document 1. At that time, research efforts continued to determine the severity of the SCP-9312 omen, its conditions for triggering, and possible measures for containment. Next bullet point. Reverend Jackson declares, but about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Footnote. Matthew 24:36. Thus the omen implied by SCP-9312 cannot be Armageddon. Next bullet point. Occultist Montague inquires if Jupiter could be intertwined with God the Father, given the unique nature of the situation. This receives an absolute no. Next bullet point. Reverend Jackson proposes that another mythological influence may be at play. He jokes about Zeus's unfaithfulness to Hera. Next bullet point. Astrologist McCarthy agrees with the notion, expounding upon it with Jupiter's association with abundance. Furthermore, she corrects Reverend Jackson's previous statement, which had falsely insinuated that Hera was the Roman Saturn. She asks occultist Montague if there's a way to quantify the impact of the SCP-9312 omen. Footnote. This is exclusively the delineation of Jupiter's association with abundance. As of yet, it had not been established if SCP-9312 is mythological in nature. Next bullet point. Occultist Montague returns with a modified version of the Mesopotamian ritual known as Surpu, which leads to a Wikipedia page for Surpu. The accuracy is questioned by both the Reverend and the astrologist due to its lack of connection to the omen at hand. He tells them both to trust the process. Next bullet point. Also, the desk, there's a typo in that paragraph. The one below footnote number 8. It says questioned by both the revered and the astrologist instead of the reverend. Next bullet point. Astrologist McCarthy requests occultist Montague engage in this ritual with 3 Item 1 instances. One born in 1961, one born in early 1981, and another in late 1981. She requests to be notified of any changes in the impact of SCP-9312 on each of their psyches, as found by Montague's ritual. She places a request with public acquisitions for individuals not associated with the SCP-9312 investigation or program personnel who match the birth dates. Next bullet point. Public acquisitions returns 2 members of program research staff and an unhoused individual, given $100 in exchange for his participation in a research study. Well, we actually paid the homeless guy instead of just abducting them. Series 0 SCP Foundation is doing okay, I guess. Next bullet point. Occultist Montague engages in the Serpu ritual with each subject. He has each throw strips of wool into a fire before using a ppm detector to record the differences in the created smoke. Notable mercury and gold readings were recorded in the created smoke at an elevated but decreasing level. Next bullet point. The validity of the findings is brought into question by astrologist McCarthy, as gold and mercury imply a previously unconsidered alchemical relation. Next bullet point. Occultist Montague dismisses the concern as the alchemical metals have correspondences to the planets. He questions how someone engrossed in astrology would dismiss alchemy as pseudoscience. Next bullet point. Astrologist McCarthy, missing a letter in this one desk. We have another typo. Astrologist McCarthy notes that neither of the elements created at unusual levels by the Serpu ritual is associated with the correct planets, as the ritual would instead show decreasing levels of lead and tin. She goes on to claim that alchemy is just chemistry with esoterica tacked on. Next bullet point. Occultist Montague recalls a connection between the Seal of Solomon as a magnum opus and the mysticism all 3 study. He does acknowledge that while alchemy can be contested, the results should not. He proposes an update to the containment procedure with that understanding. Next bullet point. Special containment procedures are updated with the intention of returning this decreasing level to normal levels within Item 1 instances as the method of neutralizing the effects of the omen. Next bullet point. Astrologist McCarthy agrees to take the results of the ritual at face value. She states that any connection between the item and alchemy can be deconstructed and dismissed at another time. Next bullet point. Utilizing the variance in the results, astrologist McCarthy concludes that the required percentage of the population required to trigger the SCP-9312 omen is roughly 9.5%. Next bullet point, last bullet point. Reverend Jackson notes that the required astrological phenomena only occur every 20 years, expressing doubt that Item 1 instances could ever comprise 9.5% of the population. Occultist Montague and astrologist McAfee support. We have one more addendum. Now, these addendums are, up to this point, we have a prophecy involved with certain people born at certain times. More importantly, we have different religiosities, faiths, esoteric occultisms arguing with each other over which of their fields does what, which I would expect in a foundation like ours. Despite levels of professionality, people with conflicting beliefs often come into conflict, even in the scientific space. What was the second typo? Desk Control F, the word McAfee, the name of the astrologist, but do McAfee with one C instead of two C's, because you will find one with only one C that needs to be fixed. Okay, before we hit the final addendum, I'm leaving you on a cliffhanger. Let's return to chat. Rosemary, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will spend their doubloon wisely. Researcher Kakiro Miro, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site 42. We appreciate your newly minted membership and service as a researcher here. Dr. Sherman, are SCPs allowed to date Dr. Wright because canonically she does that type of stuff, right? No! Dr. Wright is not allowed to fraternize with the anomalies. No one is. It's against protocol. Now, if Dr. Wright breaks the rules and is caught by the appropriate personnel, there will be punishments involved, but that's not my purview because Dr. Wright does not work at Site 42. Sadly, Dr. Wright is really high ranked. That is true and sad both, Dr. Frogman. You are correct. Desk. I do believe intern Billy Boy might have been using drag slang, calling my look cunty. I believe that is what was being said, alongside the slay, of which I am known to slay from time to time. I would, of course, confirm, but I do believe in the manner they were saying it, it was meant to be a compliment. Ow! My author, as a cishet male, feels weird about being called such things, however, as an ally but not a member of the LGBTQIA community. I'm being told straight man can serve cunt as well. If you say so. I'm gay, I say so. Desk is learning queer slang at this time. He'll be taken to the library. Ace of Luck, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself a can of peaches on your way past the commissary. Do SCPs get psyche evals? 173 could be showing narcissistic qualities, in my unprofessional opinion. Well, we do have therapists on site for SCPs that are, I don't know, sentient. Ones that can talk to us and have a talk therapy to help them stay mentally well while they're in containment, because it makes it easier to contain them. But 173 is a statue. It doesn't talk to us or has not communicated in any sort of manner we can decipher. It's not like it's scratching in Morse code or anything. Intern Ithaca, thank you for donating again to say. But what if I am the anomalies? We are rather strict about fraternization between anomalies as well, I'll have you know. I'm not saying the SCP Foundation is a prison, but I am saying it's basically a prison. What if someone was on the moon and they looked at a picture of 096? What would happen? Intern Davies. The entire chat is going to speak with me in time because they know my answer to this question because we answer it so often. Anywhere in space you are, if you look at a photo of 096, you got to remember how fast 096 can run. 096 can run really fast. That's because 096 does not skip leg day. That's because 096 has got that squat booty. If you look at a picture from space, 096 is going to squat real, real low and then jump to space and get your ass. Your non-squat booty. All right, Site 42 staff, we are going to finish the reading of SCP-9312. It's a short addendum. Let's finish the job so we can say we've read this SCP. The following addendum is submitted to SCP-9312. By the time the SCP-9312 omen occurs, several items will have been met that make the end of the world not the result of SCP-9312, but instead the result of other conditions. Firstly, it should be noted that the percentage of the population required to trigger the SCP-9312 event, as it had been previously thought of, requires a life expectancy that is currently beyond the capabilities of the program or civilian populations. Footnote: roughly 180 years or 9 great conjunctions. From this, it can be garnered that SCP-9312 does predict a future in which the means to extend human lifetimes to this point do exist. It should logically continue that since the end of the world must occur despite this, whether from SCP-9312 or humanity's own actions, it is far more likely that we fail to properly account for the growth in population that would result from this change to society. To prevent the events of SCP-9312 from occurring, it is of the utmost importance that the program ensure means to dramatically extend life expectancy are not widely proliferated upon discovery. So, this predictive model that is going by is the model of the conjunction if life expectancy reaches 180 years, and therefore the population reached the threshold of activating the event. And it seems like the stars disappear or something. I'm not quite sure what this digital model is, quote, predicting. And maybe the discussion will clarify this for me. I'm not quite sure I understand the implications. But furthermore, what song is this based on? What song is this article based on? I mean, I think Children of the Moon sounds like a song title, so that's what I'm locking in. I think that this is probably the song called Children of the Moon. I think this person just used the title of the song as their title of their SCP. Let's have a look. In the process of writing this, I remember that my mother is rather familiar with tarot and is kind of witchy in general, so we sat and talked about omens and whatnot for a while. I've come to see the appeal of tarot. Like, I'm still skeptical and understand that most people have the complexity required to relate to most cards, but she did a reading on me and was rather accurate to my condition. It's very funny. I don't believe in silly superstitions like that, such as astrology, but then if you read the description of Leo in a astrology book, that is so me. It's actually scary. Anyway, this is my Jam Con in which I got the Alan Parsons song, Children of the Moon! 4 out of 23! Another song done. I don't know the song, but I guess it was the title anyways. If someone vandalizes an SCP, who do you report it to? Typically, if you can't fix the problem yourself, then you go to whoever runs that particular page, which would be the SCP author of that page, or staff has teams that handle collaborative pages. You could also just probably go to any general staff member and say, hey, can you pass this on to the right person? Inkblot was vandalized. Bummer. I mean, since it is your article, you are fully within your right to revert to previous page. I mean, I see Inkblot 2303? Desk, where do you see an audio file? I'm looking at 2303 right now and I don't see anything. I don't see any edits since September of 2025. And no files are attached to this page, is what the files section of the wiki says. For those, if a SCP file has audio or something like that, then the files section would list it, but I don't see any files attached to this image. Nope, nope, close that, close that, close that, close that. So, yes. Well, Desk, it looks like the article has already been reverted because it's in an old version. It looks like that vandalism took place back in September. So, yeah, so what's happened is someone vandalized it back in September of 2015, and then Napic already reverted it. So there is no need to fix it. It's already fixed, Desk. How did you know it was vandalized, Desk? How did you find out it was vandalized? I do remember at some point one of my articles was vandalized as well. They swapped it out with some weird creepypasta or something. If you go through the history of, I forget which article it is. Let me see if I can find it. 3086. Was it in the... Yes, it was this one. No, it was not this one. Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh well, not worth investigating too deeply. Not worth the hassle. Philip November, thank you for your 6 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. 6 months and we're still here. That's something. Hey, making it 6 months at the Foundation's pretty impressive with all the chaos we go through. Dr. Sherman, do you know how old Kane Parsons is? Well, I thought I knew, but then all of a sudden, apparently, he had a birthday, and so Kane Parsons is 21 years old? Perplexing. Literally tell me you don't have a job without telling me you don't have a job if you're out here vandalizing SCP articles. Well, Sheeny, to be fair, they are usually at that point very tired, or not tired, just very irritating children. So, likely. I like the Asmongold shirt. Do not link me to that cockroach. Oh my God. I follow the Foundation Fitness Initiative. I go to the gym. I take care of myself. I shower. I do not have tooth blood on my walls and dead rat alarm clocks. No. Ew. Woof. You got me. Yikes. Ouch. We celebrate Pride properly here. This is a lab coat, not a shirt. Look. Asmongold is an anomalous object. Unfortunately, no, intern Mario Brine. It turns out that kind of disgusting person is just normal in the world. As much as I hate it, that is just an average thing. It is sad for all of us. Way to take a compliment, sheesh. It's not a compliment to be it is not a compliment to be compared to Asmongold in any manner. You want to be the farthest you can be from Asmongold in your life. That is how you live a good life. Here, I thought you were just ribbing me. Are you actually a fan of Asmongold? I'm so sorry for you. I'm not mad at you. I just that's just a terrible, rude person with bad morals, bad hygiene. When we watch movies and read books about people you should aspire to be, he is the opposite of all of those things. Phil November, thank you for donating again to say. Or no, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a croissant on your way past the commissary. I meant the past 6 months with Agent Orange. Agent Orange. What? Did I take amnestics? Am I forgetting what you're talking about? Dr. Sherman, I know the Foundation doesn't really like reality benders, but what if one was truly friendly and wanted to actively help? Could the Foundation use them for things? Intern, King of Hell, Reality benders, once they get a taste for using their power, they invariably become very cavalier about using their powers to their own aid. And that is why Clef's policy for them is long distance, sniper rifle. They never hear you coming. I accidentally breach SCP-504. What do I do? Well, don't tell any jokes. Those tomatoes will be exceptionally violent if they don't like your jokes. And basically, they have terrible taste in jokes. Yes, Puppy Adventures 42, they are very disappointing tomatoes. Puppy Adventures 42 has returned to say hello again to those who came late to the chat. Sweetie baby. Remember, Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie. Charlie does not have an E at the end. It is an I with a heart over the top. This is a girl Charlie, not a boy Charlie. You're very excited, and now you're very sleepy. Just wanted to come over and say hi, huh? Sounds about right, sweetie pumpkin. Amber, thank you for sending a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they feel the love. Okay, but let's say hypothetically a reality bender truly was friendly, then could they? Intern King of Hell, let me repeat. It doesn't matter how friendly they are when they start. When they continue to age and use their powers, they will turn. It is a certainty. So it doesn't matter if they start friendly, they won't be friendly forever. Can we talk another language? Intern Gideon, unfortunately, me and my moderators only speak English, so we would not be able to understand or moderate. So we have to keep things in English here. Dr. Sherman, that's a bit scorched earth, don't you think? Intern Sam, I highly recommend you listen to Dr. Clef's seminar on reality benders and you. It is very important to your education, apparently. Can you please send my pet ghoul back? No. It is secured, it is contained, it is protected. Don't worry about it. Phil November, thank you for donating again to say, Agent Orange is my nickname for SCP-5004-B because the carpet dusts the white. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I see what you mean, yes. All of us are surviving that all right. Do we know any other SCPs that are kids of the Scarlet King? So, if you go into Scarlet King lore, I've got a video on this channel called Scarlet King Declassified. And it's going to list lore up until the date the video was made. Obviously, more and more SCP stories are made every day, and that means there's more lore after that video. But during that video, I bring up the list of people who are supposedly children of the Scarlet King. And that does include 682-999 as hypothetical options. What if you're a child of the Scarlet King? Well, intern Tobeans, I'm not. So, nothing to worry about. Dr. Sherman, what would you do if you became anomalous? Would you just willingly enter containment or go rogue? Intern Sam, this has already happened in the past. You can go back in the streams. I had a stint where I was locked into testing because they thought I was anomalous. I turned out not to be anomalous, but also anomalous, existing in a quantum superposition between being anomalous and not anomalous. The test didn't work. Something to do with my personal swan entity being a indecisive asshat. Ow! Worth it. I'll be so dead ass. I've been in this fandom for years and still have no idea who or what the Scarlet King is. At this point, I'm too afraid to ask. Well, Mamori, Scarlet King Declassified gives you a bunch of good information to start with. Video on the channel. Now, that was written before the Tufto proposal, which is a Scarlet King SCP-001 proposal. So you'll have to go into that after you watch my video. God Sinner, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself some Frenched toast on your way past the commissary. I've weighed the pros of my powers and the cons of being teleported to corpses. And I think I might be a Mary Sue, even though I have to trans my gender the non-anomaly way. It's crap. That's rough, buddy. Intern Spooky Spook. What the hell are you talking about? You guys make me dislike SCP. I like scary existential threats, not the which SCP has the E. What are you talking about? We talk about spooky existential threats all the time. We are the SCP Foundation. What are you whining about? Clarify. I'm waiting. In the meantime, Transmographist, thank you for, I think, your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself a quiche on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, how would somebody reveal to their parents that they are a supernatural amalgam when you've been human 95% of your life? Listen, I am your site director and boss. I am not here for your personal issues with the on-site therapist regarding coming out in any manner. I am not trained for this. This is not what I went to site director school for. So talk to the on-site therapist, talk to trained people, talk to close friends, test the waters with your family about being an anomalous amalgam. Intern Spooky Spook, are you upset that the SCP Foundation supports the LGBTQIA community? Is that what you're mad about? Is that what you're talking about down there? I'm just trying to get to the logical next step of your conversation to figure out what your deal is. I don't think the SCP workers wear that. Intern Jace, I'm the site director of Site 42. I make the dress code. And if I say a festive lab coat for Pride Month is allowed, so be it. Not at all. That's just the first thing to appear in my fill-in bar, and I feel very turned off. I was once fascinated, now I feel like I must stay away. It's become like the Undertale community. What are you talking about? What do you mean in your fill-in bar? The SCP community has thousands of stories about different monsters and anomalous places. What are you actually upset about, spooky person? What do you mean like the Undertale community? What did the Undertale community do? I'm very confused. Sick new hair, Dr. Sherman. Thank you, intern Freakler. Time check. Intern Jinxed. We are currently between 9 and 39 minutes from the end of stream. Between 9 and 39 minutes from the end of stream. Intern Spooky, thank you for donating to get your point across faster, but I still don't understand it. Pity, I know the freaks, you never mention any of the SCP of the day I mention or anything. Also, I looked up Undertale phone. What the hell are you saying? You're just speaking nonsense at this point. It doesn't make any sense. We just read an SCP document, SCP-9312. We just talked about SCP-8489. We've been talking about SCPs all day. I don't know what your deal is, though. This is weird. Mario Mike, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go ahead and get yourself a green mushroom on your way past the commissary. I recently went to a regular IKEA looking for a futon in the stores unapologetically celebrating Pride. How does the Infinite IKEA observe? Do they also serve the rainbow layer cake? It's good, by the way. I would assume that the Infinite IKEA also celebrates Pride since standard IKEAs do, and they're kind of reflections of each other. I've been in the Undertale fandom for years, and every fandom has a bad side, but what's the true problem? Freakler, yeah, every fandom has people who are weird in it. You're always going to have people making things who are good people and people making things that are bad people. People making things that are mainstream and people making things that are weird. And very often the weird can be very interesting. SCP is weird as hell. This is a creepypasta fan fiction situation. The more people join a fandom on the internet, the more nonsense you go see. That's how it is. You got it, Sheeny. And so if you're letting the way other people enjoy a fandom affect yours, I consider that weak. I consider that a problem of your conviction that you can't enjoy something your way, someone else's has to trump that somehow. Do we have an audio sync again for a minute? Piano Kid, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself a quesadilla on your way past the commissary. A guy went in my room and became a chair. What? Oh yeah, that's just Cherry. That's Larry who turns into a chair. Cherry, don't mind him. Rosemary, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have just made them a 5-star team again. A 5-star team. Very good. Agent Fletcher, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a blueberry muffin on your way past the commissary. Is 682 technically ace? Peak LGBTQIA icon. We have not delved into that side of 682's biology, thankfully. I don't want to know. God Sinner, thank you for donating again to say. I saw Desk said there are no sailor eating anomalies. I wonder if they stopped after we invited the Iron Ships, or maybe there were always tall tales. Well, I mean, there are lots of nautical anomalies, some of which do eat people. Just depends on the anomaly. I recently applied to become an SCP wiki writer. Do you have any tips to writing? Intern Pogi, what I want you to do is I want you to go to the SCP database on the front page. And on the front page of the SCP database, I want you to come here to the resources, guides, and essays. This is where you are going to hardcore learn about writing SCPs from the SCP community itself. There's a lot of good information here, so use it. All anomalies are its, though. Yes, Dax Rays, but Cherry is a staff member, so Cherry gets his pronouns. Intern Diaz, thank you for sending a good luck, have fun, and a good game to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will continue to have fun and good games at your urging. God Center, thank you for your 14 months as a Mobile Task Force Captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Thank you for the brief head pat and peanut butter. You are welcome for both. How would the Foundation contain my OC? She's kind of a regular human, but she runs an anomalous company, and she came back from the dead because a god possessed her. Intern Jinxed. Regular humans go in human containment cells very easily. So the question is, what's stopping us from putting your OC in a humanoid containment chamber? I believe that it's just the ratio of the community being one way, whether it functions or doesn't, and lays dormant, still grabs the opportunity to point out things that have made me regret seeing. I mean, Spooky Spook, we've all seen stories that have upset us at some point. Now, not me, because I am a very strong Constitution person who can handle things. But there are plenty of people who see content warning laden articles with certain abuse, certain gross stuff, certain violent stuff, certain sexual stuff that freaks them out. And that's okay to not like that stuff. But you remember, that's one story out of 10,000. 10,000 plus. Just because one story isn't to your liking doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. Intern Victor Reyes, thank you for sending a flow state to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I know they will continue to lock in at your urging. Is your shoulder okay, Dr. Sherman from Site 42? Golden Cone, Brian is still taking up residence. It's a little frustrating, but we're doing our best. Are you that one SCP guy? Intern Derpy. Yes, I am very often referred to as that one SCP guy. Oh, this shirt doesn't fit anymore because I lost weight. That's the problem. This 2-button used to be a lot lower, but it's way opener because there's less of me filling the shirt. I see. Let's try this for a bit. All right, I think that looks a little better. It's been bothering me the whole time. Do you like SCP Wyatt? Of the current swath of SCP content creator Spiker, I think SCP Wyatt's SCP Containment Breach videos, and especially the SCP Shower Thoughts, are great series. Do, do, do. Humble Brag Sherman. Oh, Mamori. There's nothing humble about these gains. Mm-mm. Are you going to join the Tofu the Snake and Two Cobras in their Markiplier hater club? Intern Toe Beans, I can't hate Markiplier. The guy's too funny. The content's too good. In space, that was c'est magnifique. It makes me want to find a location that can double as a SCP containment site, like an abandoned hospital or something, to do SCP containment breach, choose your own adventure, containment breach with Markiplier. But Markiplier might not want to be in it. But if he did want to be in it, I'd have him in it. May I ask you something? Well, Intern Spooky, you've certainly been a chat main character today. What is your question? As long as you are polite and not rude. What are your thoughts on the Foundation Twitter saying that when the Knicks win, they'll release all the anomalies? Intern Blue Blazer, they already did it. It was a very frustrating time. Thankfully, we've cleaned up the mess. Intern Victor, thank you for sending a 6-7 to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team and a 100. I'm sure that Desk, despite his sadness, will keep it 100 because of you. Intern Nobody, my favorite colors are typically mint green and or gold. Are you going to watch the FIFA World Cup this year, Dr. Sherman? Intern Pogi, I'm not normally a World Cup guy. Just not a sport I pay too much attention to. Okay, right, I get it. I have no words. Now, I almost feel bad that some of you aren't too bad, right? My faith in humanity has every reason to exist. People are people, Intern Spook. Sometimes people are weird, sometimes they're not. Actually, no, I lie. Everybody's weird. Everyone's a weirdo in their own way. Some of them are acceptable, some of them are not. You just gotta judge which ones are and which ones aren't. Intern Rays, thank you for sending chili to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure they will enjoy the tasty snack. Rosemary, thank you for sending sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure that they will enjoy cleaning up yet another glitter bomb. What is your favorite SCP? Spider King, I usually say my favorite SCPs at the end of stream, which I'm going to do in about 26 minutes. So with 26 minutes left on the clock, you could either wait it out, you could donate and ask, and then I'll answer in return for your generosity, or you can go to yesterday's stream and cheat and listen to the ending there. You have many options at your disposal. If you were part of a mobile task force unit, what unit do you think would be a part of? Oh, Intern Gideon, I'm not being on any mobile task force. I am a researcher and site director. I'm not going in the field if I can help it. Not since I got this cushy desk gig. You can find a lot of old videos of me as a researcher going out in the field, a younger me. I try to avoid that if I can. Mario Mike, thank you for donating again to say. I got nothing to say, I just enjoy the nostalgia bomb. Ah, the good old days. The good old days be good old daysing. Raise a glass to our fallen star for a couple days ago. You know what I'm saying. Dr. Sherman, what do you think of the rubber? Intern Golden Cone. Of the SCP animated farms, which I usually refer to in the negative term content farm, because they pump out very cheap, low effort work with lots of clickbait that doesn't make sense and interferes with the story, like shoving Freddy Fazbear into SCPs that have nothing to do with it. The rubber is among the worst of them. I don't like the rubber. And the rubber has also given up on the SCP community since the algorithm stopped favoring it, and so it doesn't make new videos anymore. That company just keeps pumping out compilations, to my knowledge. The comments are full of people being sad that the rubber stopped making things and just pumps out these compilations again and again. I don't think it's very kind to the fan base the way they're doing things. The same goes for Detective Void. At least SCP Explained keeps making effort, the same as Dr. Bob. I still don't prefer them as content for myself, but I feel like they are better than Detective Void or Rubber ever were. I really enjoyed your Mr. Illustrated's remaster on SCP-096. Your voice acting was very excellent. I mean, spot on acting exactly how it sounded in my head. Thank you, Intern Pogi. In case you are unfamiliar, everyone, I did a recent cameo on SCP YouTuber Mr. Illustrated's remix of the SCP-096 document, or remaster. I voiced the Zulu 9 captain in the initial interview. It was nice to stretch my vocal training a little bit. It turned out pretty darn good. Give it a listen and say Dr. Sherman sent you. Intern Ray's and Rosemary, thank you for sending 2 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, making them a 2-star team again. Maybe one day they will be a 5-star team again. Carakel, thank you for donating again and clarifying you were Carakel. It's been a while since I've seen God Sinner in the chat, so I didn't know if it was the right name. Thank you for clarifying. Everyone is crazy. It's just a matter of what degree, and anyone who claims to be sane are the ones you need to watch out for. That's true. Yeah, it's that kind of thing where if someone is selling you that they are a genius, then you really need to not believe them. Because the better you are at something, the smarter you are, the more you know there are things you don't know, the more hesitant you become, the more measured you are. People who swear that they're geniuses are snake oil salesmen lying to you. Elon Musk! Ugh. What's this stream about? Intern Bentley, welcome to your first stream with us. I, Dr. Sherman of the SCP Foundation, spend once a day at a afternoon briefing with you all, answering your questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we all work, the SCP Foundation. So you can ask questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to contain them, or how I would contain various anomalies from other so-called fandoms. Freakler and Rosemary, thank you for sending 2 more stars, bringing the team to a 4-star team status. It's not that I'm against the community. I'm certainly for free will, but also at the counterpoint, I'm for people thinking the right way too. Intern Spooky Spook, what you're looking at there is the trouble with humanity. It's that we can't all be individuals perfectly content from everyone else, but we all can't be community focused to the point of monotony where everyone's the same. There needs to be a balance between individualism and for the good of the community. Individualism is great for being yourself, standing out, but it also could be selfishness, taking advantage of people. You've got to balance that with being community oriented and taking care of others, but not so much so that you give yourself away to nothingness. And if more people in politics could understand that there's a place between the two, we would not have all the issues we have today. It's very frustrating. Freakler, thank you for sending 1 more star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, making them a 5-star team. And Intern Ray's, thank you for sending sparkles. I'm sure the chat would love to clean up another glitter bomb. Christ, I just remember the Elon photo that I kept mentioning a few months back, Lort. Froy, I'll have you know, this entire time that Brian has been infecting my shoulder, the parasitic centipede that lives in my shoulder and is causing me so much pain. I have been very afraid that someone was going to make an MPreg joke, which would lead us back to the Elon Musk MPreg joke. Very upsetting. This has been in my head the whole time. Now it's in your head. Everybody's sad about it. Dr. Sherman is in his 40, thought he was at most 30. Intern Freakler, I'm turning 40 in August at MetroCon Tampa, by the way. I have planned my panels for MetroCon Tampa. So if you're going to be at MetroCon this summer, you can come see me at the SCP Foundation panels. I'll be running 2 of them this year, double the panel time of last year. When did you get this caterpillar director? Rosemary, it appeared last Monday. We are going on a week and a half of Brian being stuck in my arm. Caracal, thank you for sending a good luck, have fun to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to good luck and have fun. Oh, that's right. I didn't up Freakler's star to 5 stars. There we go. 5-star team for the chat. Is this real? Intern Bentley, it is very important that I stop and drop kayfabe in character right now to say the SCP Foundation is not real. The SCP Foundation is an online creative community. It's a writing community. It's basically fan fiction, but just like a hair elevated, even often not very elevated. But it's all themed around a secret organization that hides magic and monsters from the general public, much like the Men in Black. We always drop kayfabe if someone asks if it's real, because back in 2015, some friends thought that Slender Man was real so hard, they stabbed their friend to get on Slender Man's good side in real life. So, in order to keep people from stabbing their friends, we do not pretend the SCP Foundation is real. We act, we role play, we have fun responsibly. Intern Rays, thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will keep it 100 at your urging. Why are the back rooms outside of the SCP Foundation's jurisdiction? Well, Intern Jacob, on our pataphysical narrative level, it is because Async got first dibs. And they're very bad at it, so it's very frustrating they won't let us investigate the back rooms. But on the higher pataphysical narrative level above us, where the authors reside, it's because the back rooms is not an SCP. It is off a wiki. The SCP Foundation only accepts original anomalies. We don't take other people's intellectual property. King of ADHD, thank you for your 15 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. 15 months. You are correct. Thank you for your long-term service. Intern Spooky Spook. The way you are role-playing right now is very confusing to the chat. We cannot really tell if you are being serious or not. You need to clarify yourself. You maybe need to take the day off and chill. You don't want to get yourself banned for being weird. Take a breather. Caracal, thank you for donating again to say. Have to go, but because you put this in my head, I'll share. Trump and Elon MPreg with George W. Bush as the father. Also, thanks, I like hearing my chosen name. Roger that. I just had to remember Caracal was Caracal because it's been a while since I've seen God Sinner in the chat. I need to clarify. Thanks for putting that image in our head. Also, read SCP codename White People for some really weird stuff. What is that, 9009? Yes, SCP-9009, codename White People. A weird alien race that includes most of the presidents of the United States in one way or another. And I believe it does include the Elon Musk MPreg, is that right? Absolute horrors beyond human comprehension, that's for sure. Terrifying. Terrifying. Happy Pride Month. Yes, Intern Cosmo, happy Pride Month to you too. Intern Reyes, thank you for sending a makeup brush to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will dab it on and slay. I'm used to hearing about MPreg that you're used to it? Where are you hanging out on the internet? But not hearing about it in Site 42 stream. Well, I'm sorry. The SCP Wiki has MPreg on it. I didn't put it there. It's not my fault that I have to talk about it. Now I'm terrified, and I'm doing a quick search of the database. Okay, here is a, oh boy. Codename Boiled, Scrambled, and Fried. A tale about SCP-049 MPreg. Brian, stop laughing, okay? There's 12 minutes left in stream. There's 12 minutes left in stream. I just gotta make it 12 more minutes. Intern Gideon. Do not search for that on Google. I will just tell you. MPreg is the concept, and sometimes fetish or kink, about men getting pregnant. It's a whole thing. Don't go into it any further than that. It's bad for your health. Brian is laughing so hard, it is vibrating my shoulder. It is twitching. Intern Alexa, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Intern Reyes, thank you for sending 2 more sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I will have them clean up those glitter bombs at their convenience. Intern PM, male pregnancy is in fact anomalous. It is not standard, whether in general civilization or in the SCP Foundation. Can you hear Brian in your head? If you know he's laughing, I assume, but I just want to make sure. Yes, intern Blue Blazer. The parasitic centipede in my shoulder, Brian, spelled with a Y, by the way, is psychically linked to me in a manner where I can hear it cackling over the conversation subject. Isn't the foundation mega rich? We should just buy those async bums and deal with the backrooms properly. Intern Pogi, I love your idea. We do have pretty decent resources, but there have been severe budget cuts in recent years. The world is changing, and the SCP Foundation is struggling to change with it. On top of which, async is bullheaded and rather rich themselves. Puppy of interest. Save me in the chat from the last 10 minutes of conversation. Puppy of interest 42 is here. And Charlie does not need to be hearing about such things. She is a 9-month-old baby. Remember, that is Charlie without an E. It is Charlie with an I at the end and a heart over the I. The sweetest puppy of interest, the sweetest pumpkin, at Site 42. Yo, Dr. Sherman, is the parasite part of a bit? Well, it's part of a bit of pain that I've been having over the last week and a half, if you call that a bit. Agent Goose, is it late enough that Puppy of Interest can have another treat? Puppy of Interest can have another big old treat on behalf of the Containment Hazard Assessment team. That's why you're her best friends, because you give her attention and treats. And that's all this little baby wants. And, wow. Dr. Sherman, have you played Containment Breach and have you beaten it? I have played it. There's actually a stream of me playing it, but we haven't picked it up again. I need to do some work on the rig for gaming streams before I can successfully do such a thing. But once I get the rig together, we can return to gaming streams. Subnautica collects the titanium. How exactly do you know Brian, did I spell that right, as a centipede-like parasite? Intern Freakler. First of all, yes, you did spell it right. Second of all, we've taken x-rays, obviously. That way we could see what's going on in there. And that was when we found the little protest signs it was holding saying anomalous lives matter and such various and sultry things. Sundry. No, do not take that out of context. Stream, we have 6 minutes remaining. 6 minutes remaining, so get your last minute questions in. What is your favorite anomalous entity? Intern Jack Lack. I always say my favorite SCPs at the end of stream, which is 5 minutes from now. So if you can wait 5 minutes, you'll hear my favorite SCPs. I fucking love the LGBTQIA plus community. Well, intern Chezzy, you're in good company because the SCP Foundation is an LGBTQIA supportive space. What floor of the back rooms would you love to explore or research? Intern Jacob, I am not actually familiar with the back rooms floors. I have not done a lot of research thanks to Async's bullshit. So, I'm not familiar with many of the floors. I don't have a good answer for that. I wonder what would happen if the gender switching stone was given to a non-binary person. Intern Kyber, we have seen that happen before. And the specific thing that happened was non-binary individuals have unpredictable responses. One of our non-binary researchers turned into a shape-shifting cat girl. So, yeah. You gotta watch out if you're non-binary for the gender switching stone. It gets unpredictable. Freakler, thank you for sending 4 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They have just become a 4-star team thanks to your work. Maybe they'll make it to 5 stars again. Rosemary and Freakler, thank you for both sending stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, canceling each other out and making the team a 1-star team. They need to fight their way back to 5-star team, and they only have 3 minutes left. Rosemary, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. There was also a star from Snell, and again Rosemary, and Rosemary, and Rosemary, and Ashwoods. 6 stars added on. That became a 2-star team thanks to that run. Following that, thank you to Runaway for the laughing disco. I'm sure some sweet, sweet dance moves were had on the dance floor, comically so, thanks to your urging. Rosemary, you added 3 more stars to make them a 5-star team. Let's see if it stays that way. And Ashwoods, thank you for sending a 6-7 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure chat is very confused. There's a lot of chaos going on here at the ending. Jack, thank you for sending 2 more stars. Chat is a 2-star team again. This stream cannot survive a Vor Jesus mention. Oh, no. No, with 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock, I think that brings us to the end of stream. Hello, intern nobody, it's SCP-5991. You just, SCP-5991 is it. You go over to Vor Jesus and read it. It's up to you now. What is this? Rosemary, thank you for sending 3 stars to make them a 5-star team, but then Snell sent a star, making them a 1-star team, and then 3 more stars to make them a 4-star team. 1 from Rosemary. We're a 1-star team from Rosemary. Runaway, thank you for sending 5 floating hearts. I'm sure the team feels the love. Ash, thank you for sending a good game. I'm sure it is a good game, thanks to them. Jack Lack, you sent another star. They are now a 2-star team. And then Rosemary sent 3 more stars to make you guys a 5-star team. Let's see if that finishes the stream. So, Site 42 staff, y'all are messy as hell, as Sheeny said. I completely agree. This is the end of stream. And so, as always, at the end of stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. Of course, I'm not going to tell you that the SCPs I personally wrote are my favorites. That would be cheating. But if you want to read the SCPs I wrote, you can go to VSherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can see the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you're on my author page, 1 tab over, you'll find a list of links. Links that people in the chat ask about all the time, but then they get confused and lost trying to find the links because they're not clever enough to do it. It's so sad. But you guys are clever. You'll find those links. You'll be able to become a Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. You can do a Ko-Fi or YouTube Super Chat to donate to us one at a time. But either way, we appreciate your generosity. It helps us to keep the lights on here at Site 42. And if you are part of the Broke Gang and you cannot donate, do not fret. You can still help us out by being members of Mobile Task Force Sci 42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. When you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, make memes, clips, edits, jokes, shit posts about Site 42 or the SCP projects we support, like SCP Containment Breach, the movie, like the SCP Wiki and its authors and artists, like SCP filmmakers, game makers, animators, podcasters, merch makers, etc. You are helping us to make bigger and better SCP projects in the future. That is how we get SCP movies in theaters and such. We all have to work together. We can't do it alone, but as a group, we can make this happen, and I thank you for your service. Now, during that, a lot of chaos happened that I now need to catch up with. Jack Lack, thank you for sending a star. Rosemary, thank you for sending 3 stars. And Jack Lack said a 4th. That puts you guys at 5 stars again. Let's see if that lasts. Mario Mike, thank you for donating again to say. Can't forget 5991 because of the trauma. Yes, the Bible eating stream is still here on the channel. And my then following trip to Jesus Land theme park in Vor Jesus' stomach. It was all very upsetting. And the VODs are still here for you to watch at your leisure. And then Rosemary, thank you for sending 3 more stars. Jack, thank you for sending another star. You are now a 4-star team as we go into the finale. So, Site 42 staff. My favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 399-304-308-J, Site 42 staff, this has been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Yeah, we're on the scene. We got the light on a watch from the screen. So it's Crash, the Market TV. We've got the lowdown on what you believe. Don't you care? I'm aware of what I see. It's me. The credit song is Crash the Market by the Saltines. Be safe, be well, Site 42 staff, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream.